Hello. You meet me at a very damp time of my life. I'll tell you more after a quick shower and lunch. Okay, we're back. So let me start from the beginning. So last Sunday, my friends and I did the Winter Warmer Cardiff 10k run. It was a sort of staggered event. They had a 5k, 10k and a half marathon race at the same location. It's in Boot Park in Cardiff. And so me and my friends did it in my current marathon training block. It was meant to be a support race because I'm attempting my first ever marathon in April this year. So this is only going to be a support race. As you might have known already, all through December, I've done very little training. In all of January, I've really only done aerobic base workouts. So going into this, having all that excuses out of the way, I didn't really aim high for that event. I just hope that I maybe get a PR and call it a day. My previous best attempt was at the Bristol 10K a year ago in May 2025. Well, 2025 was a whole year ago now. And at that time, at that event, I managed to finish with a watch time of 48:48. So anything better would have been a good day for me. So on Sunday, I left my house around 8:15. Okay. Good morning. It's 8:10 in the morning, and we're off to Cardiff. We'll see how it goes. Got to the parking spot in Cardiff at about 9:20 and managed to meet up with my friends at about 9:35. Once we dropped our bag, we did a little 1k shakedown jog.
Basically, if you imagine a giant circle.
And then my friend Emily and I panic queued for the toilet while Jake is being super prepared, went to the toilet half an hour before and went to the starting spot. By the time we finished queuing up for the toilet, we made it to the starting spot just in time, only to figure out there was a staggered start. By the time we managed to start, it was about 10 minutes behind. So with that extra 10 minutes, I managed to do some static stretching. Before we continue, let me know in the comment section below what are some of your, if you have any at all, race rituals or sort of like things that you do just to get yourself in the zone. I know I wear a pre-race outfit. I only wear that one specific outfit. It's a bit silly, but it's just stuff that make me feel like I'm in the zone. So let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, my friend Jake, he was way more prepared than us. So he was in the first wave, and Emily and I, we were at the last. I think we were at the last wave.
4, 3, 2, 1, way down.
So as we gathered up at the starting line, Emily and I bid each other good luck, little fist bump, and then off we went. We were running our own race, and this was a 2-lap race around Boot Park. There was a little course marked out for us. So in my head, the first lap was really just a sighting lap, learning the course without trying to lose too much time while maintaining a good pace. It was a really interesting course. I really enjoyed it, but there was this really narrow path that was unpaved. It was in a wooded area, and because it was raining all the way up to half an hour before the race, it was muddy. It was fully muddied. It was very narrow, and it sort of became one of the bottlenecks in a course. If you ran an event before, you know there are places where it becomes bottlenecks. And it was really hard to overtake on the side because it was basically sludge, and I didn't want to risk falling over or sliding. And my shoes didn't have that much sort of trail grip, so I didn't go by the side. I think I lost a little bit of time there, both times going around there. I think at that point I slowed to as slow as 7 minutes per kilometer. But it is funny how your mind works once you're in the zone. You focus as much as you can in your own race, your own cadence, your own footsteps, your own breathing, while your brain is sort of working overtime in trying to find like little routes that you can overtake people with. mind you, you want to overtake responsibly and considerable to other people running this race as well. Then in a short race, like in a 5K or 10K, you're going almost all out. And because you're going all out, you find yourself sort of negotiating with yourself. Sort of by the 5 to 7K mark, you start thinking to yourself, is a PR really worth it? Well, if I'm going to get a medal anyway, then it doesn't really matter if I PR. It just sort of becomes a constant fight within that period of time, that 5 to 7K mark, 5 to 8K mark, a little constant fight with yourself, two voices sort of trying to win each other out. At least that's how I feel when I run these things. But what I realize is, if by around 7.5K and you're not the sort of the voice that tells you to shut down, hasn't won up too much, and you're still running a good pace, then around 8K, you sort of find a second win. And if we look at my splits, my fastest kilometer and my fourth fastest kilometer was the last two. And I found a little bit of a second win. I went for it. And yeah, I managed to finish with a watch time of 48:09, a chip time. Let me check here. 49:04, because somehow I managed to run an extra 200 meters. Still, that is 39 seconds off my previous PR. Not a bad day out at all. And at the finish line, when you do things with your friends, Jake greeted me having finished about 20 minutes before me because he set off in the first wave 10 minutes ahead of us. And he ran just a few seconds short of a sub 40, which meant that he was waiting there for a good 20 minutes before I arrived at the finishing line. And as we stood there with his grandparents, we saw Emily cross the finishing line 2 minutes ahead of her own target time. All is well, right? Absolutely not. This is where the wheels started to fall off. As I mentioned before, this is my support race. This is a support race to sort of juice up the training a little bit, and to add to my training. At this point, I've reached about 55K of weekly mileage, and I was hoping to get to 60K this week, this post-race week. Yeah, my plan was to give myself a day off on the Monday, just gone by, and then build up to 60K this week. And then eventually build increasing 5K every week to get to about 90 to 100 at peak training, stay there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then start tapering. Now, where it all went wrong was my girlfriend and I have this little tradition where after every race, we go get Chinese food from our favourite Chinese place here in Bristol. But instead of going to our usual, we went to a new place instead. Then on Monday, in celebrating her new job, finishing the first day of it at a new job, I cooked something new, something I've never done before, we'd never eaten before. And between the two meals, I think, we got food poisoning. Because for the next 2 days, we were completely incapacitated. I even have to cancel going to our church's student weekend away this coming weekend, depending on when you're watching this, depending on when this video goes out, where I'm meant to be helping out. So no, I haven't ran at all this week until just now when you saw me come back from my very wet run. It's Friday at 2:33 and I've only ran 10 kilometers this week. Great. Another week written off. We'll see how next week goes. Bye. Despite all that, speaking of tradition, I know it's really silly, but I do this thing where after every race, I write down the time on the pair of shoes I raced in. Case in point, my Alpha Fly 2s that my mum gave me as a birthday present 3 years ago. My first half marathon and my first competitive 10K time. I wrote it all down, as you can see here. So I'm going to do that now to these Zoom Flies 6 that I ran these 10K in.